All right, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Thank you for joining in on these late night streams. Our schedule has been a little sporadic these past few days, but tomorrow we should be getting back to our usual 5 to 5:30 p.m. start. But welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some exciting information, a new change on the Tesla website. I mean, this is not necessarily the biggest news, but it adds a little bit more clarity for the tax credit, the Tesla EV tax credit for the Model 3 and the Model Y, and maybe we get some more insight from this. We're going to talk about that, plus a variety of different topics regarding some insurance news as well for Tesla, or insuring your Tesla. Some big news there, at least from my opinion, big news. So we'll definitely take a look at and a bunch of different stuff. But if you're just, before we get into any of this, let's roll that intro real quick. And this is where I'd hit the intro. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best behind Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, you can get a link to my latest Patreon guide, which has links to all the best credit unions out there, all the best financing interest rates, as well as my buying guide, which has all the best links and everything so that you can get the best deal on a Tesla at the end of the day. But let's get into it. So let's see, let's switch it over. A little scuffed, I know, but if you're just joining in, this is the Tesla website. You can see right here, we've got on the screen Tesla Model 3, and they just changed this, like literally within the past few minutes as I was getting ready for this stream. It says right here, $7,500 tax credit is anticipated to be reduced for the Model 3 by March 31st. Take delivery now. If that isn't as clear as it could ever be, then it's going to be 100% clear in that statement. So we know this, right? We already speculated for a while that the Tesla Model 3, especially the Model 3 standard range, would lose the tax credit, but it seems like it might be more. But if you click down to Model 3, you can take a look. They've changed the wording on this even more. So it says right here, $7,500 federal tax credit. Of course, this is when you file for your taxes next year, because when you buy the car this year, it comes off of your income tax this year, but you file for it next year. That's when you get to basically redeem it. So the new Model 3 and the Model Y qualify for the federal tax rate for eligible buyers. This $7,500 credit is anticipated to be reduced for the Model 3 rear-wheel drive by March 31st. So that's what, basically tomorrow, or a couple days from now. But we knew this, right? We knew the Model 3 was going to lose, the Model 3 rear-wheel drive was going to lose the $7,500 federal tax credit, and really no other changes from this. Model 3 Performance is still priced at $53,990, and the Model 3 Long Range is still grayed out, and you still are not able to order it. But the question is, right, I know a lot of you out there are interested on the Model Y. Is there a change? And it looks like still no change on the Model Y side. So at this point, I'm pretty confident in thinking that the Tesla Model Y is going to get at least $3,750 of the federal tax credit, maybe dare I say $7,500, because I feel like at this point Tesla would make some sort of announcement across the board on both the Model 3 and the Model Y side. And so really, I don't think that the Model Y is going to lose the full tax credit in full. I think it will just tear down to $3,750, or maybe even, really just $3,750. And the reasons why is because if you take a look at Tesla Model Y inventory, there is still a good amount of inventory still available on the website, still available for sale. And so Tesla probably is not feeling any sort of pressure or the need to try and sell some of these vehicles. That's why they did not make any sort of announcement about the $7,500 federal tax credit on the Model Y. Model 3, still a little bit of a different story, right? We've got 330 Tesla Model 3s available for sale on the website, and on top of that, there is a good amount of demo discounted vehicles as well for as well for the Model 3. So we've got $1,300 off, $1,200 off, let's see, $1,700 off, $1,700 off. So really there's a ton of them out there. If you are looking for a Model 3 rear-wheel drive and you want to take advantage of the tax credit, you could do that. But I feel like there are big, massive changes in price coming for the Model 3 standard range. So I feel like at this point, it's too much of a rush. I think you might as well just wait it out, see what happens after April 1st. See what happens to the tax credit. I mean, at this point, we could probably guess that there's not going to be a 30 to 60, 90-day rollout unless Tesla is just using this as some sort of like marketing ploy, I guess, to try and get people to take delivery of the Model 3 ASAP. But if that were the case, then they would probably say something similar to the effect on the Model Y, which they aren't, because they've got a good amount of inventory on the Model Y sitting on the website, sitting available for sale. So if we switch to demo inventory, there's also 43 discounted demo vehicles with various discounts across the board, like this one right here, almost $2,600 discount. Here's another one in Salt Lake City, Utah, another $2,600 discount. So there's a good amount of Tesla Model Ys available for sale. And if you want one that's discounted, basically discounted to an older price, because the Tesla Model Y long range did get a raised price up to $1,000, then I would say it might be interesting to try and get one of these. And because that's the thing, like, right, we always refer to the Tesla price history tracker a lot on our streams. And so if you're in the market for a Model 3, you might as well just wait, because right now the price of the Model 3 is $42,990, and so the lowest price it's ever been, you've probably heard me say a bunch of times, is like 30. Here, this column right here, we can see it, the price of it lowest it's ever been is like $37,000, maybe even $36,000. And so right now the price is $42,990. We've got about like a $6,000 price swing between the vehicles. So if Tesla, they could do crazy stuff. We've seen Tesla do crazy price drops in the past, at least like very recently in January when they dropped the price of the Model Y, $13,000 in one day. So I bet, like, my crazy prediction, if I were to go throw out a wild prediction out there, a super crazy one, because we've seen Tesla go crazy and they could go crazy. They've shown us crazy and they could do crazy. So we could easily see Tesla drop this down. I mean, what if they drop this down to like $35,000 as a starting price? I mean, that's $8,000 from what it is right now. They could do that. Like, what if we start to see tomorrow, or not tomorrow, like April 1st, a $34,990 Tesla Model 3 standard range? I mean, would you? I mean, that would be hard not to buy one of those, especially, and we're going to talk about this, especially if you're someone that uses your car for work, like maybe Uber drivers. And we're going to talk about, because I found something that maybe a Uber driver, you can use a Tesla and make $10,000 a month. I mean, that was pretty interesting to me. So we'll talk about that as well, but definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. We are going to jump into our next topic because it is late, and we're going to get the, and then of course we will get through the live stream comments, because that's the benefit, right? You get to ask anything you want in the live stream, and I will get to it at the part of it. But before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description, there is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources that I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible financing rate, including credit unions and banks that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing, lower than Tesla financing's 5.59%. Some of them even as low as 2.5, 2.9, 3.5 to 3.99%. So definitely check it out. Link down below in the description. And I feel like I have to plug that because, like, taking a look at this poll surprised the heck out of me. I posted this poll 2 days ago. How did you finance your Tesla purchase? An overwhelming 34%, or what is that, like almost 300 to 400 people said they use Tesla financing. I mean, no matter what the rate was, whether it's 3%, 4%, or even today's 5.59% on Tesla financing, you could have saved and you can save off of this crazy high rate. It exists. It's very easy to do. If you don't even want to check out the Patreon, there's links on the videos that give you some credit unions where you can find out. And if you want to just do the search yourself, you could just quit trying to Google and search through credit unions and see if you can find one lower, because they exist out there. And it's not the hardest, but if you want to save time, check out the Patreon link down below in the description. But all right, water break. But thanks for joining in, everyone. I know these streams have been a lot later than what we're used to. So thanks for jumping in. Thanks for joining our late night stream. Tesla Cowboy, Crusher, Ron, John, William, Jeremiah. William, you're a Patreon member, right? I think I just saw your name. Thank you for joining in. I forgot to say thank you to my latest Patreons, Colin, William, thank you for jumping in. Jess, a Crescent Tech, thanks for coming in. Matt French, Ron John, Judy, Eric Chan, thank you all for coming in. But we're gonna try and speed through a couple of these topics, just because it's late. It's past our bedtime. But if you're just joining in, Tesla has updated their website. On the website, it now says for the Tesla Model 3, the rear-wheel drive credit for $7,500 will be anticipated, quote, anticipated to be reduced by March 31st. So crazy. If you're taking delivery of a Model 3, you should be good. If you're taking delivery of a Model Y, you definitely probably will be good, because no changes just yet. But I mean, I would say verify with your Tesla advisor, verify with the IRS, call the hotline, and just triple check. But you should be good. And I mean, it's what, the 29th. We've got 2 days left of the month. We've got Thursday, Friday. I mean, I have a feeling the IRS and the Treasury are going to release information tomorrow, because that's what they did in December. Like on the 29th, or like the Thursday before the new year, they released information. And so I could easily see them doing that again, 100%. So that's definitely what they're going to do at the end of the day. So in this next topic, we're going to talk about how to make $10,000 a month driving your Tesla for Uber. I saw this post on Twitter and I just had to stop the scroll, and of course I had to share it with all of you, because that's a good amount of money. Maybe it's a full-time job instead of a side hustle, but even if you can make a fourth of that, a fifth of that, a tenth of that, like as a side hustle, you know, that intrigues me, especially when you combine it with a Tesla. If you've got free home charging or whatever, free supercharging, if you got old referral miles, it could make some sense. So we'll talk about it, and let me know what your thoughts on it, because driving for Uber has always been an interesting one, but I never thought you could make money at like $10,000 a month driving Uber. So we'll talk about it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best thing on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. So let us jump right into this. So shout out to Steve Sassman on Twitter. Anyone make 10,000 058, so more than $10,000 a month, over $10,000 a month doing rideshare in the 4 weeks of March, a thread on how I did it. So of course he's got some screenshots here. You can see we've got a weekly breakdown from March 13th to March 19th, $3,365.70. Now of course there's a couple things to dissect into here, right? Like online time 64 hours, so of course that's more than a 40-hour work week. So if you factor in overtime, stuff like that. And if you look at book time, he essentially drove 49 hours of people in the car with them, and over 141 people. So at a minimum, that's 141 different people, maybe most likely even more, because most people might take like rideshare with people or things like that. But at the end of the day, like no matter what, however you want to squeeze it, you can't deny that is a chunk amount of change. And essentially that's triple, maybe even more than that of probably his monthly payment for that vehicle. So if you factor out the miles, if you factor out his time, he's still paying for his payment in essentially 1 week of full-time work as well. So of course, and on top of that, because if you're an Uber driver, you're a 1099 contractor, your own business, you can write off all these miles, or that even potentially that car or other things like that, because you're on business, and maybe even cell phone plan, things like that. And so you can take a look at here. He actually posted his charge stats as well, and he went to a supercharger and spent a total amount of $217. You can see 1,721 kilowatts. So I mean, that's not, of course, not as bad as a gas bill, depending on how much he actually drove, like a gasoline bill, but still a good amount of money at superchargers. So taking a look at some of like the different thread here and notes, like it's pretty interesting to see that someone could potentially make, like, if they've got the right setup, if they got the right car, because that might not be as profitable, I guess. If he had gasoline car, maybe he'd be spending $400 to $500 a month in gas, and if he had to pay like oil changes, maintenance, brake changes, that can all essentially eat into the profit at the end of the day. So of course, on top of that, this was in the peak season of Phoenix. Maybe there was a bunch of things going on during that time. I know there's like a golf tournament in Phoenix at the time. I don't even know at the same time or something like that. But at the end of the day, definitely some pretty interesting stuff to be able to make $10,000 a month or $3,300 a week on ride share for driving with Uber using your Tesla. Of course, you could probably replicate this with a different type of car, but of course, it's more profitable at the end of the day using a Tesla. But let me know what your thoughts on this. I mean, definitely is pretty interesting. And if you used it with like a Model X or a bigger car, of course, your expenses are a lot higher, but then of course, the vehicle has more tax advantages because it's heavier and all that different stuff. But of course, talk to an accountant at the end of the day. So it could be an interesting use case here, right? Like, how fast could you pay off a Tesla? Like, if you bought a $55,000 Model Y, you got the $7,500 federal tax credit, you worked like, I don't know, 1 week or 2 weeks a month on your extra time, or maybe even weekends. Could that be enough to pay for a Tesla payment? I mean, essentially, I definitely think it could with a Model 3, because Model 3 is basically a starting point with the $7,500 federal tax rate is like $35,000 plus like CVRP for California, different state rebates, New Jersey, $4,000. It can definitely get pretty interesting very, very quickly. But shout out to Steve Sassman. I love the hustle, I love the effort, and I love how the transparency of how he actually posted the screenshots and tried to show everyone else and try and inspire people that there's different ways. If you want a Tesla, if there's a will, there is certainly a way to get a Tesla. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. We're going to jump into our next topic, and of course the live stream comments, because that's the benefit, and I answer all the questions. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by my Patreon link. Down in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, so definitely check it out if you are interested. If you're just joining in, welcome. Tesla has updated their Tesla.com website, and now there is a pretty definitive statement here. This 7,500 credit is anticipated to be reduced for the Model 3 rear-wheel drive by March 31st. Now, of course, we've kind of known this for a little bit from what we've seen, but the interesting thing here is that the Model Y side really has no changes. It still says the same thing that it said before, that the Treasury and the IRS were intended to release some sort of guidelines no later than March 31st. And if I were to put on my like conspiracy hat or my prediction hat, it's going to be tomorrow. I would say the Treasury and the IRS are going to release more information tomorrow, because for some reason they like Thursdays as a date. It seems in the past few months they've been doing a Thursday type of timeline. So I definitely think it's going to be around that time frame. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff on that. We're going to jump into our next topic. So thanks for jumping in. In our next topic, we're going to talk about how some insurance companies are banning Tesla. And shout out to the viewer that sent me this. Let me give him the proper shout out to James. You sent me this for showing the screenshot that 2 insurance companies, well really just one, is now starting to not let you sign up with Tesla. And the interesting thing with this, I definitely heard of another one before. I never verified it, but I didn't think it was going to be an actual thing. But insurance companies are starting to limit the type of vehicle, and specifically Tesla, which is a little bit scary to me. And the fact of the matter is, these two insurance companies are very close to what I actually recommend. So it really sucks that this is happening. And now I'm scrambling a little bit on what I am going to do. So we'll take a look at, and let me know what your thoughts. Like, let me know who you're insured with, which state you're at, and what will you do in the future for this. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And so let us jump into this. So I've had insurance companies for a bunch of places. I've had Progressive, I've had Travelers, but most recently I ran into Wawa Nisa. Wawa Nisa is a California only insurance company, and you can see from this screenshot, shout out to James who sent me this, you can see there's no option for Tesla, and this is a pretty new thing. The funny thing with this is I have Wawa Nisa right now, and I still have it insured through Tesla, but I did get my rate raised pretty heavily very recently. I thought it was just because we bought a Model X, but maybe there's something going on with Wawa Nisa that I'm not actually aware about, and this would make a lot of sense because when I quoted with a different company, which we'll talk about, which I recommend a bunch, which is actually Costco Connect, it went down like $60 a month. But I was trying to sign up, and then they basically went dark, and so there could be something interesting that's going on because now Costco Connect, which is I know a lot of you out there report back and write on the comments on the videos that you were able to get really good rates with Costco Connect. They seems to have pulled out of the California market. And so of course I know this is not a Tesla specific pulling out of or banning of the insurance companies for that, but this is pretty interesting that they pulled out of California because we all know California has a good amount of Teslas, and so this is a interesting change on that. And the third thing I've heard very recently is that Progressive is also now starting to ban or not insure Teslas as well. And so if you're curious on why this actually is, it's really because it's new electric vehicle technology and new battery technology. I actually had an article pulled up here, but I must accidentally close it. But really what it is these body shops don't want to take on the liability of fixing electric cars, especially with the battery. So they just total out the vehicle really relatively quickly, and no one really wants to deal with it. And it's just pretty expensive at the end of the day. And so insurance companies are probably foot with the bill. And on top of that, this is where I kind of predicted with Tesla dropping the price of a vehicle $13,000 overnight. I bet insurance companies don't want to necessarily deal with that, like especially the Model Y, which one day was a $66,000 car, the next day a $53,000 car. I bet one thing, these customers that are paying for insurance on it, they don't know how to react because their MSRP says one thing on a window sticker. It's supposed to be valued at that, but if it quote unquote totals out, the insurance companies, as I understand it, are only supposed to pay the cash value of the vehicle to the customer. So a customer who might have a loan on it at $60, $65, maybe $70,000 and only gets paid out $55,000 because that's what a brand new is one right now, maybe even $50,000, they're underwater $10,000, $15,000 immediately. So that's a scary proposition, a scary thing that could actually happen to some people. So that's why I do recommend gap insurance if you can get it, especially if you paid a high price of $66,000 way back last year or even earlier this year. So that's a pretty scary thing. But let me know what insurance companies you got. Pretty sad news because these are two companies, Wawa Nisa and Costco, that I definitely will like because Costco quoted a pretty low rate recently, and now I have to figure out. But it looks like right now, if you receive a quote within the last 60 days, please call us at 187 blah blah blah. And quotes older than 60 days have expired. So that's good news because I literally just got the quote like a week ago. They were going through the paces. I was sending them pictures of the vehicle. They were good and okay, and then all of a sudden they went quiet, and this must be exactly why. But tomorrow I'm going to call them. I'm going to try and fingers crossed because I was a little bit worried because we do talk about Tesla insurance and how it's a little bit of a big brother aspect because it does track your driving ability, your what time you drive and all these different stuff. And I was a little bit worried about getting on that, especially because my safety score is not necessarily the best. It's like a 80, last time I checked, like a 83, which is probably really low. Let me know what your safety score is. And so I was worried about that because I've heard things where Tesla insurance will drop, you know, let you come in with a low rate, but every 6 months will start to raise you based upon driving habits or whatever. But there was really no proof on that at the end of the day. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Some insurance companies like Wawanisa are starting to ban Teslas from being newly insured. So definitely a very scary proposition moving forward. So hopefully you guys are able to find insurance, and let me know what you guys are paying for insurance and what city or state you're at down below in the description. But we're going to jump into our next topic. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by my Patreon link. Down in the description is a Patreon link where you can support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, or even financing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the best credit unions that I have that are better than Tesla financing, so you can save on the interest rate, some even as low as 2.5 to 2.99 to 3%, 3.5 to 3.99%, so you can save on financing your Teslas. So definitely just check it out. Patreon link down below, or even the YouTube join link. All right, let's jump into some comments and questions actually. Thanks for joining in, everyone. Tesla has updated the website, and it says, quote, this 7,500 credit is anticipated to be reduced for the Model 3 rear-wheel drive by March 31st. Which is insane. Model Y side, it has no other change here, but still kind of says no later than March 31st. But my prediction tomorrow, which is Thursday, that's traditionally when Tesla will come out with, when the IRS and Treasury will come out with some sort of update. That is when they will absolutely do it. So, and I know everybody's asking about insurance. I actually did a poll on here, I want to say, let's see, pretty recently, and the average was $150 a month, some even $200 to $250, but I imagine that is going to start trending up, unfortunately. And maybe it's time to do another poll on the channel, because it's always good to see a temperature as people start to get renewals like I did, and it just went up. It's not a good feeling, but I guess everything is getting more expensive, and I guess it is what it is at the end of the day. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. We almost got there. How much do you pay for insurance for your Tesla Model Y or Model 3? $50 to $100 a month, 18%. $100 to $150 was actually the majority at 31%. 20%. That's a good bulk of the people actually here. Almost 1.8 thousand views. 20% said $150 to $250, and 6%, almost quick math, what, 120 people pay over $300 a month. So that's a crazy one. Dennis, do a poll on which insurance companies have on their Tesla. That's a good one. I mean, that's tough. Like, I don't even know what are like the top 5, but I guess we could do that. That would be a good idea. All right, let's see. So we're on laptop stream. That's why we've got this whole setup, and it's different. And of course, I forgot the mouse as well, and so it's a different way I have to like click on the chats to show on the screen. So let's go to the top. Tesla Cowboy, oh no, welcome back. Crusher, sup Dennis, very late stream these couple days. Yeah, if you don't realize, we are traveling, but tomorrow we'll be back to our normal scheduled programming. Ron John, welcome back to stream, welcome back in, thanks for coming in. Wish I had my mouse screwed up here. There we go. Let's see, what are the chances Tesla doesn't raise the price on Model Y after 3/31? Doesn't raise the price. I think they might lower the price, especially if they lose half the tax credit. Took delivery of Model Y Performance Tuesday OD25, and there's no imperfections. Perfect, but I am amazed. Love it. Congrats, Jeremiah. William, thanks for coming in. Jess, Tesla to the moon. Yeah, that'd be nice. Eccentress, glad the Model Y is still going to be good for the condition for the incentive. My delivery got pushed to May 7th to June 11th. Yeah, it still should be good. No, I still actually, I think it's going to go down to 3750 for the Tesla Model Y. I have no proof, but we'll know tomorrow. I think that's my prediction. It's going to come out. Taking delivery of Model Y performance tomorrow. Nice. Congrats, Matt. And anybody that has just taken delivery of a Tesla that is or about to take delivery, check out our discount codes down below in the description for our Tesla accessory partners. We've got Jawa, good phone mount, Tesloid, we've got Tamai, we've got 3D Mats USA, a premium floor mat company, and of course we got MAGBAK as well, which is a new premium phone mount, I would say, for your Tesla Model 3 or Model Y that has a little bit more of an OEM feel to it. Picked up my Model Y long range today and you helped me so much. I have learned so much from your site and Patreon. I got a great weight and a great price. Very happy. No, thank you, Judy. Thanks for coming in. Congrats to you and congrats on your Tesla Model Y long range. Enjoy in good health. Enjoy in good health. I hope the credit stays. I've got no VIN, but EDD says delivery by Friday. They're gonna that's insane that you don't have a VIN. Actually, have you driven by or went by a Tesla sales center so they can see if they can hook you up? Eric Chan, what is up with this EV credit? Yeah, it's like it's all over the place. It goes in and out, and then it's back. But it doesn't go in and out. It's a lot of fluctuation on what actually might be coming out for it, but we'll see. William, yes. How do I get Tesla Park Assist? It says date already update to 3.2. Switch it from standard to advanced. Do a soft reset or standard advanced, hard soft reset, and then go to sleep and then see if it comes back tomorrow. Hey, taking delivery tomorrow? Okay, yeah, you should be fine. Just read the Washington Post article that says changes will post on Friday. Okay, yeah, I mean, at least by Friday, right? But looking at what the Treasury has historically done, they I want to say in December they released information on Thursday the 29th. Let's see, is that even the 29th? I think it is. Let's go back to the calendar here. Yeah, December 29th is the last time they released information. So if we're just going to go from that, I'm just going to say Thursday again, but we'll see, right? I see so many new Model Y long ranges 19 inventory now, but they were very hard to find in California. Yeah, it seems to be there's a good amount of them. Is it because Uber pays more for Model Y drivers? I don't know, actually, maybe. Hey, Dennis, do you think the Tesla dealer can fix a sizable gap? My new Model Y came with a huge one. Have you or a friend taken your car to fix a gap? I have not fixed, actually, no, I have fixed the gap. They can, as long as you're going to take it to them, they're going to measure it to see if it's within spec. If it's out of spec, then they will fix it for you. Patel, Model 3 Red pickup tomorrow. Nice, congrats. Korki-san, thanks for coming in. I hope everything is well. Rear wheel drive. So the 5 to 6 months you'd buy the Model Y outright, depending on factory and the incentive, planning to insure with USAA. Yeah, so in 5 to 6 months, yeah, he basically pays off a Model Y driving for Uber. Then you'd be pretty much good. Does Wawa Nisa update to Tesla 2023 now? Possibly. I mean, that could be a reason why, but it seems like the person that sent me that, James, he sent me that and says that they won't insure him. So maybe it looks like they have put the ban on Tesla, unfortunately. Jeremiah, I have Progressive currently. Okay, nice. Yeah, I used to have Progressive. Interesting about cost of insurance. Yeah, it's gonna be sad if we can't get cost of insurance, because I'm gonna call them tomorrow and put that on the to-do list. I didn't help people. How much is your car insurance for your Tesla? I think the average is $150. I have State Farm in Texas. I like it. How much is your insurance? I love it. Yeah, if everybody wants to post, you can see $240 a month. Yeah, it's a little bit high, but you could definitely get that down. The average is on the screen right now. Marcus Graber picked up the mine today. Nice. Congrats. Check out the links down below in the description. Tesla website says Model 3 will not qualify. Yes, that is the updated news right now. The 7,500 credit is anticipated to be reduced for the Model 3 rear-wheel drive. Yeah, unfortunate. What's the safety score on the app? It should be in the app. Like, scroll down a little bit. If it doesn't show, then maybe try and update the app to see. Got my Model Y long range. Thanks for all the tips. Anthony, no, thank you. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for hitting the like button, and congrats and enjoy your brand new Tesla. State Farm, Geico, Costco, Tesla, Progressive, Walmart, Nissan. Yeah, that's good. That's actually a good idea for a poll. Maybe I'll put that. But then now it's going to go down because people won't be able to get insured from them. Is the 7,500 credit going away? And if so, when? It looks like Model 3 standard range is going away on April 1st. Mono Y long range, I would say, is going to go down to $37.50. My new Mono Y long range is $38 a month. What the heck, Crusher? What state are you in? Hey, great news. Even though my order was $120, Mono Y long range delivery was pushed to April 4th to 11th. Found a demo, same exact spec near me, $2,000 off. Picked it up a couple days ago. Congrats to you, Vlad. Nice job finding a slick deal, I would say, on a Tesla. Enjoy it in good health. And check out our accessory links down below in the description for our Tesla partner accessory partners to get good discounts on good accessories at the end of the day. Picked it up today. Nice. Congrats, Boppy. Wonder if it would ever get back to accepting BTC as payment. That's a good question, actually, because that was like a short term, right? And also like Dogecoin on the accessory side, but maybe they bring it back. John, Model 3 standard range LFP. Will it hurt the battery pack if you don't charge it 100% all the time? I actually have no idea. Mine is 210 with Tesla insurance. I wonder why. Actually, that's kind of high for Tesla insurance. You should be able to get a lot lower than that. Crusher, you're in California. You're paying that low rate. What the heck? Dennis, what is an out of spec gap? No, Tesla at the Tesla Service Center actually has like a measurement rule thingy that's like a whatever, and they will measure how big of the gap you have, and they'll tell you if it's within spec or not for a warranty claim. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff on that end. But if you're just joining in, Tesla has updated their website, and there is no more, or there will be, or at least the 7,500 tax credit is anticipated to go away for the Model 3 rear-wheel drive. So the good news here is it seems like they're not changing the Model Y side. I mean, it still says 7,500. I mean, I feel like because they've got so much Model Y inventory on the website, they would at least make some sort of announcement here, like maybe it's going down to $37.50 to try and drive more sales, but it seems like they aren't. So maybe the Tesla Model Y will still qualify for the 7,500, or maybe it will only qualify for $37.50. We really do not have any sort of idea at the moment. All right, we've got one last topic. All right, so in this next topic, we're going to talk about the Tesla price cuts. And it seems like Elon might have had this all planned all along from the beginning. So we'll take a look at what the article says, because the price cuts, when it happened, seemed like a sign of weakness. It seemed like there was no sales in the pipeline. At least that's how I interpreted. But if you take a look at it macroly from what they've said at Investor Day and what Elon said all along, maybe this was just his plan all along to, at the end of the day, think big picture and get market share. So if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically it just means getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best financing rate. So definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel and get access to my buying guide, which has links to all the best credit union rates and financing rates. So definitely check it out if you're interested. So let us take a look at this. So shout out to Inside EVs. Quote, Tesla price cuts. It seems Elon Musk had a calculated plan all along. Despite early conclusions by analysts, it appears Tesla price cuts have done anything but slow the automaker's weakness. And so in this article, it's pretty interesting because, of course, as we know now, there was a massive price cut in the US on January 12th or 13th in the amount of $13,000 for the Model Y long range, which is the most popular car that Tesla sells at the moment. But on top of that, they did price cuts all over the world, European market, US market, Asia market. We had a great time during those months because every single time we would monitor and see a discount in China or Europe, it would shortly happen very, very soon in the US. And every time they rolled out free supercharging miles or free option credits, it would then also happen in the US shortly after. And so this seemed to be part of the strategy. And what this article is starting to cite is that when they talked about the Investor Day, and talked about the master, or first when they talked about the master plan, it was quoted from how Musk wrote actually that the plan was to build an expensive car, then use the profits to build a cheaper car, and then use the profits from that car to build an even cheaper car, so on and so forth. And that's basically what they did. And they sold the Model S and the X. They sold I guess first the Roadster, then they sold a Model 3 and then the Model Y, and now they're making the Model 3 and the Model Y even more cheaper. And you could really see this more into effect when they talked about all the different things at Investor Day. They talked about, really the only thing they really talked about is they didn't talk about any new models. They did talk about a new factory kind of all the way at the end, but the main thing that was, I would say, the theme of Investor Day was reduce costs, be more efficient, and reduce costs even more. So of course, as they get to reduce costs, they make more profit, and also potentially put out and sell a inexpensive, I don't want to use cheaper, but more inexpensive vehicle at the end of the day. And on top of that, we've definitely seen articles about Project Highland that's coming out, right, with the Tesla Model 3. And really all we've kind of, the theme of that is just reduce costs, build a less material type of vehicle, removing the wood from the trim and putting like a plastic, or not plastic, but like a different fabric there to make more profits and sell a cheaper Tesla at the end of the day. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on are. We're going to jump back into the live stream comments, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down in the description is a Patreon link where you support the channel, and there's a variety of benefits, but some of them include actually scheduling a call with me where you can ask me any questions about buying a Tesla, selling a Tesla, refinancing a Tesla. And after you join the Patreon, you get a link to my buying guide, which has links to all the resources I use to get the best possible deal at the best possible price, including financing rates and banks on that buying guide that all have interest rates lower than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out if you're interested. All right, thanks for jumping in, everyone. We'll just jump through the live stream comments to finish it out, but thanks for jumping in on these late live streams. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for all the comments. Got no giveaway this week, but no worries. It's the last week of March. We've got a lot of news, of course. Definitely tomorrow and Friday it's going to be a big announcement. That's what we know from the IRS and the Treasury. And then April, we're gonna do at least one giveaway, that is for sure. And if I have to self-fund that giveaway, we will do it because I want to give back. I want to give back to the community. I want to give back to everybody that comes in here and hits the subscribe button and the like button and comes in every night or every other night or whatever, just watches the videos, the shorts and everything and support. So thank you for that. Yes, picked up no accidents. I mean, a bad history, 28. I don't know why it's so much. Actually, that's not that much if you're 28 with no bad driving history. I would say that's pretty good average on top of that. Weird, not sure why. I've heard less than 5mm or less within spec for panel gaps. Yeah, I would say just bring it by there, ask them to take a look at it, and make sure they don't charge you for that. I was able to get $153 a month plan, plus it includes the cost of life insurance. Wasn't that interested in life insurance, but binding it was cheaper with State Farm. Well, that's pretty interesting. I would say that's a good deal then. How my Model Y long range pushed back today to Friday, cutting it close. Yes, you are cutting it close, Gonzalo. I would say it might be worth it just driving by that Tesla delivery center where you're supposed to pick it up tomorrow and just ask them like, hey, is it available to be picked up today? I know it says Friday, but I've got some time right now. Maybe they can help you out and hook you up. Driven, watch Q3, they will release a Model 3 with 4680. Yeah, it could be on the horizon. Wawadisa isn't insuring new Teslas. It does not seem like it. And then Costco also has to seem to be pulling out of California, which there is a lot of Tesla owners that insure with Costco in California. There's no reason for Tesla to decrease the price of the Model Y if it loses the credit. They're doing fine before the credit. I don't know about that. I think a lot of people are buying the Tesla Model Y and Model 3 right now because of that credit, but I mean, I could be proven wrong, but who knows. Glad I got my Model 3. Yes, JB, for sure. Are they going to lower prices on the Model Y again? I don't want my car's value going down. I think they will. First time on late night, Dennis. Thanks for coming in, Moses. Yeah, I've got a new setup here. Of course, this is only temporary. We'll be back in our normal scheduled programming tomorrow. Let's give Dennis a thumbs up to help the algo. Thank you, Churro. Thanks for doing that. Love the comment pop-up thing you do now. It looks super clean. What's the plugin? Yeah, it's actually with OBS. If you like that, then maybe I should switch to OBS. I've been holding off on switching to OBS, but yeah. Crusher, thanks for the like button. Thanks for the thumbs up. But thanks for joining in, everybody. Thanks for joining on these late night stream. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow with our usually scheduled programming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.